This is Inspiring Careers with your host, Ingrid Centurion. We're going to talk about fascinating technologies that will impact your future. Meet inspiring entrepreneurs and people that are making huge differences in the community and around the world. We're going to share career and life lessons of inspiration and success. Today we have Perevill-Conti and Adam Zand with us, the principals of Sharp Orange, a PR agency with the motto of who are you trying to reach and what do you want them to do? And the guys behind Libraryland. Since 2017, they've visited over 150 libraries across Massachusetts, and they couldn't resist hitting some libraries in Florida, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks very much for having us.
Yeah, this was fun.
You
Thanks.
also went on a little East Coast Libraryland
Field trip. Yes, we did. We did.
So tell me all about, what is this Libraryland project all about, and how did it start?
Well, it started out of necessity. Adam and I started a PR firm, Sharp Orange, and we needed a place to work. He lives in Arlington, I live in Natick. We went to Newton, nice and central, free parking, free Wi-Fi, great study rooms. We were super productive.
So business was at the library. Did you make a business card and have the library address on there?
No.
Not
So we were so productive. We figured out what we wanted the agency to be. We figured out who we wanted to go after, what the website would look like, did we need an accountant, things like this. We walked out of there saying, we should do this again. Let's go to another library.
Okay.
And
Not
then-
the same day, but another day.
But just in general, let's keep on working, because we could have got WeWork, we could have got Work Bar, we could have worked in Starbucks, but there was something productive and I don't know.
Elevating.
Elevating and productive about using libraries as our office space.
And it's free.
It's
so that's
free.
great.
So, we started to go to more and more. We started to notice little differences. We started to compare libraries, and we started to rate them. And after we got, to half a dozen, 10, we thought, why not try to go to all the libraries in the state? And arbitrary, we realized.
Did you set, you wanted to get all of them knocked out like within a year? Did you set a date?
No,
you
we
just
haven't
said,
set a
okay,
date.
Let's travel. You like traveling.
We do like traveling, and we love libraries, so it's a match made in heaven.
Also, the way the map is set up, if we have one library that's sort of centrally located, we can sort of use that as a hub to go to 3 others in the same day if we're not, on a telephone call for an hour or, on a deadline for something. So the map of Massachusetts, you asked about the South, libraries are so spread out in the South. In Massachusetts, every town almost that we've been to has a library. It's not like a couple of towns share libraries, but that's
one shares a
pretty
library.
rare.
We have a lot of resources here in Massachusetts.
We
that's
do.
for sure. We
We
have
do.
great resources. And there's so many resources in the library that you've learned throughout your assessments.
So,
Tell me a little bit about your assessment checklist that you created.
So there's 11 criteria, and I never remember all of them, but parking is one, or transportation.
Right.
You have to be able to get there.
Free parking, I remember that.
Well,
it's important.
That would be a gradation, right? If
that-
it's not free, then that might knock them down a little.
Yeah. Wi-Fi is important. We need Wi-Fi.
Critical.
We want study rooms. We want office space we can use, preferably with a door so we can make phone calls, do client meetings.
Rooms that they don't charge you.
Right.
Because some places charge you for rooms.
Well, for meeting rooms, if you're not a nonprofit and you want to have a large meeting in a library, many of them do charge.
Right.
But study rooms, those have been free.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're ahead in terms of criteria and what we're looking for. It really is, it's functional, but we also want to enjoy ourselves there in some ways. I didn't think, at first, it was much more, let's get some work done, let's leave. Now we're like, let's take some pictures, let's talk to the librarian, let's engage with this community and see what this institution means to the community.
Did you rate the coffee? Is that on the list?
I'm thinking about rating water fountains.
I know.
The gradation of water fountains is amazing, but
Well,
we don't.
You should add that to the list, because water, when you go to other states, some of it tastes
Different.
terrible. Definitely
I
different.
think it's a temperature thing. Like I noticed warm water. Let's
Yeah,
we're
this is-
digressing.
Yeah, this is not germane to anything.
Right, I know, but libraries do have a lot of resources.
You,
Not
you
just
bring
the
up
token.
you bring up coffee. So did you know that the public library in Boston has a tea room and like an alcoholic beverage tea room? In the
Really?
in the map room, an old converted map room. There's high tea at 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
You can get
Wow.
cocktails anytime. That's the
Really?
important thing.
That is
that's,
so
That's what's
good.
matters.
In a library. So you asked about coffee. We
Right.
sort of we went to opening day at the Boston Public Library, and it's on our website. If anybody goes to our website, which is librarylandproject.com, you'll see a picture of Greg and I toasting each other.
With
and
that.
It's kind of fun. It was a great opening day for that room.
But we started out of necessity. We continued because we were curious, and now, we've seen these great resources. We're really kind of committed to telling the story of libraries, their place in their communities, the value they provide, not just to people like us who work in them, but to all sorts of people. And it's been amazing.
Now, tell me a little bit about how you two met. It seems like you make a great team.
Well, we met thanks to social media.
Back when that was a popular term.
Yes, back in the olden days. We were both affiliated with Social Media Club Boston, and this is
11 years ago.
more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
12 already?
Yeah,
Time's
12
going
years
by
ago.
so fast.
But we worked in PR agencies,
That's right.
and back then, 10, 12 years ago, there were so many meetups and tweet-ups and gatherings where practitioners would fundamentally discuss what is the significance of Facebook, what's the significance of Twitter, how can our clients use it, how can we use it. And Greg and I met at something that barely exists now called Second Life. We went to a social media club event about Second Life, hit it off at the back of the room, like making jokes, and been fast friends, ever since.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, now tell me a little bit about the little short trip that you just took. You were
This was
It
not a
wasn't
short
short.
trip.
It was
This
just-
was
when did you-
2,400 miles of driving.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we went from Savannah, where we saw 3 libraries. We went to Macon, where we saw 1. We went to Birmingham or Montgomery. We saw 1. We saw, I think, 16 or 18 libraries, and we went. The only states we didn't see, Mississippi, because as it turns out, the day we were there was
So
Confederate Memorial Day, so the libraries were closed.
That made us kind of physically ill, that a library would be closed on a holiday that we definitely don't celebrate. But we did Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. We looped around briefly to
Tennessee.
Mississippi, to Tennessee.
To North Carolina,
Yeah,
to
North
Virginia,
Carolina, Virginia.
to D.C. We went to the Library of Congress in Washington.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever been?
Beautiful. Yes, I have.
That's-
Did you get a reader's card?
No, I didn't get a reader's card.
It's
Next
worth
time you
getting the
go.
card.
Really? Okay.
Different
You
experience.
get to go into there's 24 reading rooms, and the reader's card lets you get into those rooms. And I know there's the view of that main reading room from above that's really cool, but let me tell you, the view in that reading room up is amazing.
Yeah.
So, and as you go into your library and you're doing your assessment, where do you start, and how many hours does it take you to do?
Oh, we start.
Start
Well,
when we
I heard
park.
you start with the librarian.
Well,
You talk to the librarian.
I pull out my phone as soon as we park, and I have an app on my phone
Okay.
that includes all of our criteria. So it's like parking, transportation, we can rate those right away. So I'm rating it as we walk in.
Okay.
He's taking pictures as we walk in. We stop and talk at the front desk to find out, do you have study rooms? And if so, we can go to one. We want to know, do you participate in the Library of Things, which is a program that allows people to check out telescopes, guitars, banjos from some libraries,
Sewing machines, vacuum cleaners.
carpet cleaners. It's cool.
We almost think that might be unique to New England or maybe the Northeast. We saw none of that in the South.
Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2, but
Yeah.
many people hadn't even heard of it. So
Do you have a system now where people can tell you and give you feedback and comments?
We're hearing from a lot of people.
How are people communicating with you?
So
what is the
we
best
have
format?
We have an Instagram feed.
Okay,
Library
Instagram.
Land Project again.
Okay.
And I heard from the mayor of Lawrence, and he wants us to come to our library. He wants us to come to his library. He's very proud of it.
I've been there.
Greg had actually been there and done a blog post, so we sent it to the mayor. it got a dialogue going. I've heard from old friends who like found out about it through Facebook or through Boston Magazine when we were featured. So the engagement is anything. Like it really is. It's conversations at a dinner. Like I was at dinner with friends, and my friend said, "Oh, you should meet my friend at the other end of the table. She's a librarian at the North End Branch Library." I was like, "Okay, we didn't rate it all that highly, but I'd love to talk to her." This has taken us in directions that I didn't think either of us predicted at any time in this process.
That's why I thought. That's why I thought
You
this
imagined.
That's what I know. Like, this is kind of what's happening is what I.
We thought
He
Imagine what
imagined
happened.
it.
he imagined being
it.
here right at this very time. He's a visionary.
He is a visionary. But that's why when you told me about this project, I envisioned like you. This is going to take you in so many different directions. And that's the beauty of it. And you're a marketing, PR firm. You need something to talk about. This is a great story.
It has been a tremendous
We all
story.
need to get to our libraries.
Please do.
Right.
Support your local library. Visit your local library. Enjoy your local library.
And we are talking, like increasingly you asked who's asking us, like a library in Osterville on the Cape, pretty well-off community, beautiful library. They don't have study rooms.
They wanted to talk about that. Because we rated them poorly on study rooms, and the director said, "Let me show you our meeting rooms," but it's not the same. They're not
Right.
available to people like us who just come in. We've had someone from Webster, which
Oh yeah,
our
this is
favorite
cool.
library.
Okay.
I mean, not our favorite, but the most. It got a perfect score.
Highest ranked
Wow.
library. Yeah.
Amazing.
Webster.
Webster.
Okay, we need to go there.
You need
That's
to go
pretty
there.
cool. The Friends.
It's the Grace R. Kelly Library, and it is worth a visit. If
Grace
you're at that way.
Kelly?
Oh no.
No.
Okay, we'll
I'll get you
find
the
out the
address.
name
I'll
of
get
that
you,
room. Well, I'll put that in the lower caps
Yes,
when we
right.
redo. You tell me the name of the right room.
but they just wrote to us over the weekend saying, "We'd love to have you come and talk to the Friends." So librarians are starting to reach out to us, on Instagram, on our website, on Facebook, asking us.
Yeah.
And what are you seeing with the librarians that you're interviewing? I mean, have they been there for 20 years,
Some
30
have.
years?
Some have. I mean, library directors tend to be in their positions for a while.
Right.
They are people who love their jobs. There are people who are so excited about their communities. I've met people sort of who have been there for decades and point with pride to the expansion that they did or the programs they initiated. But I've also recently been meeting like young librarians or librarians who are new as directors, and the young ones and the people who are new are they're so excited about the future and what they're going to be able to do. It's an inspiring group of people, I think.
Tell me a little bit about the Framingham libraries, because I've always been impressed by the library. They have dancers coming in, and it's like shows at the library.
I mean, both Framingham branches are great. I love the new McAuliffe branch. It's just, I mean, it's a beautiful space.
That's where they do the dances, and they have so much going on at the library. It's wonderful.
And they have a Veterans Resource Center there.
They do.
And they've got a teen room and a kids room. It's a really nicely well-constructed space, and I've used it many, many times. I mean, I love the fact that we work in libraries because we find ones we like, and you can keep visiting them. And it's like
Well,
coming
I
to an old
really
friend.
love this project. Thank you for being on the show. We're going to have you back, and we're going to talk all about Sharp Orange
Oh, that'd be
and
great.
your
Excellent.
PR and marketing company.
Cool.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. See you in the library.
I know. Welcome back. Today we have Greg and Adam back on the show with us, the principals of Sharp Orange. They're going to share their PR agency with us and how their business is growing. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks.
I like your tan.
Thank you very much.
Ouch.
So you guys were basking in the sun?
We were walking through the sun. We were in the southern part of the country. We were at Jazz Fest.
Somebody didn't wear sunscreen at Jazz Fest.
Oh, you were
somebody
at the
did.
Jazz
Yeah,
Festival.
we went to Jazz
It
Fest
was-
at the first weekend of Jazz Fest. We had a great time.
And while you were down there, you were on your Southern Library field trip.
We were on a field trip of libraries for Libraryland, and we've talked a little bit about that. I think now the focus is on our exciting Sharp Orange.
Right, so let's talk about
public relations? Because PR is something everyone needs to know how to communicate with. What is the critical
It's communications.
aspects?
No, you already
Right.
said it. There's no like simple definition for it. It's what we're doing. It's two people or an organization and a publication getting together, having a conversation, and seeing what develops. I mean, obviously, we're strategic, so we come up with a goal for our client. What are they trying to do as a business? Do they want to grow? Do they want traffic to a website? And what are sort of the business strategies that we can develop? But Greg will share two questions that we ask every potential client.
Absolutely, Adam. Our two questions are, who do you want to reach, and what do you want those people to do?
Okay.
And I feel that in some ways PR kind of got away from that really simple idea and became really focused on, how many clips can we amass, or how many followers can we get? And if we want to reach our editors and what you want is stories, then those are great goals. But most clients are interested in reaching some customer segment and having them express interest and purchase products.
Do you have a special niche in a certain segment area? Because you have a lot of clients.
We've been all over because we
Right.
both have close to 30 years each experience in PR agencies and marketing firms. So at one point or
27.
other in our career,
He said 27.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I started in 2000 doing tech PR. So since 2000, I've specialized in tech. Whatever that means to you, it can be a big computer, it can be a small little chip, it can be a speaker that sits on your shelf. I think fundamentally we like innovation, we like visionary leaders, and we like sharing stories widely. So however many years we've done this,
I started in '92, so
Okay.
I think it's
I'm the
transferable.
grand dame of this, so to speak.
I think it's transferable skills too. You ask about what our specialty is. We
Right.
can learn an industry pretty quickly and figure out who the influencers are and what the sort of business environment is, and then kind of apply those strategies, tactics, and communications directions.
What are some really big name clients that you've worked with and you were really happy and proud of the work that you did for them? Let's talk about some of your big clients.
As Sharp Orange, or just as
Anybody.
As anybody in general
I
that
mean-
you were proud of.
There have been a lot. I worked with eHarmony for a few years and had a great time getting to know the founder and his wife, who were terrific people. It was kind of eye-opening. I think that I had perceptions of the company and the leadership, and then actually spending time with the leadership was cool. I worked on the Olympics for IBM back in '96. That was certainly an exciting project to be involved with.
When you work for the Olympics, that was like a 1 year, 2 year. How much before the launch date did you start working and engaging with them?
I joined the team, I think probably about maybe 4 or 5 months before the games. But the team had already been in place. The
Right,
people were already
right.
working. But there was a lot of lead time. There was definitely a lot of lead time.
Well, that's great. Now, how about you? What is some?
Easy.
Tell me.
Do you know the company Sonos? So it's a wireless speaker that sits in your house and it's connected to the internet effectively. So you can download music off your computer, you can listen to streaming services. I did 4 projects with them before they had Super Bowl ads and before they were in Best Buy. And so there was a growth curve, and especially there was a target that they wanted me to reach. They had always had trouble with this reporter who Greg and I have both become friends with through the years, Hiawatha Bray, who's with the Boston Globe. And Hiawatha, I give him credit, he thought initially the product was very niche and very expensive. So I invited him into a studio and said, Hiawatha, we want you to listen to the brand new speaker, and by the way, there's streaming services available next week in the US called Spotify. It was like this perfect combination of factors. I did 3 or 4 projects for them. My house is filled with Sonos speakers, so I'm an advocate.
Mine is too.
I have trouble picking a favorite client now, but we'll throw out a couple. So we worked with ZoomInfo, a company that was recently purchased. And ZoomInfo, a lot of people thought before we started working, and even before that it was a contact database. And hopefully through our strategies and some of the tactics, we made it a more holistic, helping business people connect and get their jobs done better. Do you have a favorite out of people we've worked with recently?
You know, I guess I've been enjoying working with VanillaSoft. It's another sales technology company based up in Ottawa. And what's fun about them, I mean, they have an interesting piece of technology, it helps people work, but their chief marketing officer is just a terrific guy to work with. He's the least Canadian we've ever met.
He's going to watch this. You better be careful.
That's right.
I think he would agree.
He's opinionated on Twitter. If anybody wants to follow Daryl Prail,
and energetic, and he's just a terrific, energetic spokesperson for a company, and it's been a treat to work with him.
Now, how about what are some really hard projects that you had to work on that were really
I had a
difficult,
tough one.
in the business?
Let's alternate. I had a tough one that was a gentleman who had a near fatal bike accident and was sort of out of work, but had done an incredible thing with Syrian refugees. He had taken a family of 7 Syrian refugees into his house. He and his wife were empty nesters, so they had room. And this is right after the election of President Trump.
Wow.
And times were tough for immigrants trying to get in. They had already been here, but they were in a really bad situation in Lawrence. So what we wanted to do is set up a crowdfunding activity to raise money for the family to get better housing, you know, not stay with Sean and Donna.
Wow, that's so nice.
And it was strategic in a way where we targeted, okay, where is our audience? Just like, who do we want to reach? What do we want them to do? We targeted the Boston Globe, Chronicle, the TV show Chronicle. And it was like a groundswell that brought this family, this beautiful family, to new housing. And it made me feel good about
what you do
what
every
we
day,
do, yeah, because
right.
and nothing against our technology clients, but this was life, and sometimes, sadly, for Syrian refugees, death. So this felt vibrant and active, and it felt like, and I didn't get paid for it. I did it, you know, because I wanted to be involved. You know, it was great. And I'm good friends with Sean, and he actually became a client of us. We wrote an ebook for Sean,
recounting his experiences with his, from the accident through his recovery, through hosting, sponsoring the family. It was a really
rewarding.
Yeah, it was a great project.
Right. There's things that we do that are probably high-paid projects, and then there's things that we do that really bring you personal satisfaction, is what I say.
Yeah, and in some ways, you know, the library stuff that we've discussed in the past, that's something that gives us that sense of satisfaction. It has not yet converted to revenue for Adam and I, but it has definitely paid off in terms of satisfaction.
That's not true. We've signed deals in libraries.
Oh, that's true.
We've been on
That's
phone
true.
calls, working on projects. And last week we were in Washington, D.C., and a company joined up with us. We're going to be doing smart city technologies in Syracuse for a local company. You might have heard of SimCon. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be working with them.
So yeah, that happened in the library. So I spoke prematurely when I said we haven't.
Now, what is there something that you don't like in the business? Maybe some difficult clients.
No.
I
thankfully
most of the
have
clients
not.
work with you.
No. I think there's, how to say this nicely, I think the first time you meet a client, you're going to know what the relationship's going to come out with. And especially now that we own our own company, we're not going to work with people that aren't sort of on board with our vision.
Yeah, and who we are. I mean,
You're also a musician.
I am a musician. I play with a few different groups of people. Yeah.
Do you have a CD out? Do you have some music?
The Shades of Grey guys, yeah, we do.
That's right.
And that's
You're
on
on
Facebook.
Scott's. You're on Scott's.
Oh, and I'm on Scott Damgard. Yeah, I'm on another CD with a local talent, Scott Damgard, which I played one track with him. So yeah, I play pretty actively.
And you're like, so I know you meet at the libraries. Is there a specific library now, for the summertime that you're headed to?
That is a really good question.
I think it'd be great for you to say, hey, we're going to be, at the Webster Library all in June, so people know that.
Can we talk about one exciting thing we did?
Yeah,
We went to the opening day of Woburn's Library, which combines an old, beautiful 19th century building with a brand new, state-of-the-art And I went to college with one of the architects on the project, so it was just fun seeing like the community get together and everybody enjoying the space and getting great use of, and it came close to getting a perfect score. I know we're not
Yeah.
talking about library
Right.
land, but we love that library.
You know, I think we had to go to some of the libraries in Western Mass, and I think a big focus this summer is going to be, because here in Boston, here in Metro West, libraries are open 6 or 7 days a week, all day. As you get further and further west in the state, the hours shrink. So we're going to, I think, spend some time doing some summertime road trips and visiting libraries in the western part of the state.
I want to do more client meetings too. Like I told you about Zoom Info, so we did 3 meetings with our client contact, and getting him out of the office physically made a world of difference. He's not checking his email, he's not on his phone, he's in a beautiful library in Lincoln,
yeah.
and in Hamilton, Wenham.
And in Danvers.
And we were focused. We were
Right.
having a good, just like the energy we get out of libraries, I think
Other people get it,
Yeah,
too.
Right.
so we'd like to do that with more clients.
And so how can we keep up with you on Instagram? Is that where you're posting photos, you're here, you're there?
Sharp Orange is more of a website and face-to-face.
Yeah.
It's not really a web property because we're communicators. We want this kind of engagement with people who want to.
Well, people can learn more at sharporange.com, for sure.
Okay, wonderful.
We
Well,
think so.
Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your business with us. I hope you find more clients, and we're definitely going to share this with them.
That would be lovely.
And continue to get out there and do great work for all those businesses out there.
Absolutely. That's
Thank
what we
you so
love.
much.
Yeah, thanks for helping us get the word out about this.
Thanks.